welcome to Jaipur National University. I'm Surbi Maheshwari and working as an assistant professor in this organization. And last previous sessions of ours, we have learned about that how quantitative techniques are related to management and how the decisions are being taken by the managers in this field by the help of the techniques and tools of quant. Basically, the quant is the very important part of management because many of these decisions depend upon the production or if in this operation line or in this investment related strategy, or if you want to plan for marketing strategy. In all those fields you need to learn that how you need to take the decisions in the market. So today's topic is basically related to that particular stream only. So today we are learning about that how managers going to take the decision in three major circumstances, which are uncertainty or the certainty or the risk factors. So how he will be going to deal with all these sectors. Basically, decision tree analysis. Okay, and in this continuous video, we will be going to learn about it, what is decision theory is and what are the environment which affect the decision criteria. Even how the decisions are made under the uncertainty or the risk or in the certainty fields. And the last one is related to our decision tree analysis, which will be depend upon the many situations basically. So this what does decision theory means? What does it relates to? So basically, decision theory represent to a general approach of decision making which is suitable to wide range of management decision, on which you can say that on which decisions are based upon or by the managers who will be going to take related to the market segment or related to the operation field or related to their production field. Might be it can be a selection of equipment, might be the decision related to the location or the layout of the facilities, or you can say that that decision can be related to the raw material or related to your product mix or marketing mix strategies. So basically it includes a large number of sub-consistent parts on which our decision theory or a manager took the decision upon. Basically, if a person wants to know that how much capacity he need to plan in regarding of producing 1000 units of shirts in his manufacturing unit, so he need to understand this thing, that is the particular field or is that particular labor or machines which he is engaging in the market field or in the factory is suitable to it or not. Obviously, if the 1000 units of production you want to bulk up, then you need to decide that how much persons you or how much labors you need to require it, and how much machines you require to complete the bulk order of yours. Okay, so for these things you need to take the decisions, and on which decision theory will be going to help out. Okay, and it can be like you can even take the decision related to your product and service design, that what type of product you need to sell out in the market, which suitable particular product will be available or will be demanded in the market in more situations. As of now you can see that IT companies are boosting up like anything, okay, in the market. So today's scenario is that do you need to go with the service sector or the product sector? Then for which service sector you need to go or for which product you need to go for, right? Even you need to plan out that where your business, where your factory, where your organization, or if you are where your location will be suited for particular organization or your factory services. You need to plan it out again. Even what type of equipments, what type of plant and machinery you need to require in the process of functioning in your factory or in the functioning of your like taking out your machines or taking out your factory outlets. Basically you need to again take a decision upon that which type of equipments and tools you need to require in your factory. Then you need to again a decision making should be taken under the product mix also. In this category, you need to plan out that what type of things you need to taken by the managers in order to sell their products in the market, or the investment policies can be there. Okay, so now how a problem is being formulated by a manager, or a manager how he have to handle that situation particularly. So basically decision problem is characterized in according to their alternative, according to their state of nature, and the resulting payoffs. Okay, so these three major characterized things of decision formulation, or the problem formulation of decision, you need to understand that what are decision alternative, what are state of nature, and what are the resulting payoff. So basically when we talk about decision alternative, that means there are the possible different strategies to conclude the work. Okay, so particularly to conclude that work, a decision maker have to plan many alternative and the many possible outcomes or many possible ways, so that he or she can complete that particular target, or can take the particular work completely. Then next one is your state of nature. State of nature refers to the future events which is not at all under the control of decision maker, and again which ultimately affect the decision results. Okay, so in this process, when obviously the nature can be anything, the circumstances can be anything, the possible events can be anything, so at that point a particular time, the manager have to take a decision in a very quick manner, so that he or she can cope up with that particular situation. Okay, so state of nature is basically depend upon the events and depend upon the circumstances which are being there in particular of that situation. Okay, on which or by which the decision maker can change their decision or can change their strategies. Then there's a third one is a state of then there's a third one is resulting payoff. So resulting payoff will be that what type of income or what type of benefits you will be going to get by choosing that particular alternative or by choosing that particular strategy. Okay, so resulting payoff will give you the benefits, will make you know that by choosing one or the other strategy, this kind of benefits or these kind of returns you will be going to get in the market. So particularly payoff table, for calculating the payoff results, we need to calculate the payoff tables, and these payoff tables are basically the results of a specific combination of decision alternatives. Whatever the combination a payoff table will going to show you are basically the decision alternatives in the case of state of nature in the payoff table, right? And the payoff table can be expressed as the profit, or it can be expressed in the time, cost, or distance, or any other appropriate measures. Basically payoff table can be the things that will give you the results, which will give you the final results about the final benefits of the circumstances or the strategies which you have chosen upon. Okay, so totally payoff tables or the payoff results will be depend upon all these circumstances and can be give you the in the results will be expressed in the terms of profit, cost, time, or like anything else. Okay, then there are the fundamentals on which decision theory work upon. Decision theory work upon the decision alternatives. For example, there are the course of action, there are the course of strategies which are there, and on which the decisions are being taken upon. Okay, so decision alternatives are going to give you the you need to make many type of decision alternatives. For example, you need to make a system like you make a strategy according to conclude the business process, or according to conclude your process of factory in the factory or in the your outlets. So for that particular things you need to frame some kind of strategies. Then there are the second one is the state of nature, on which the occurrence of any kind of event, particular event, or any kind of circumstances can happen. According to that, the decision maker on which the decision maker does not have any kind of control over it. So by that measure also our decision alternatives can get changed. And the third one is our payoff, whereas it is the quantitative measures of outcome that will give you the benefits or will give you the results and further. Okay, so the next one is our decision environment. Decision environments relates to our three major factors, or I can say that decision alternatives or process consists of three major basic functions on which are totally decisions are being taken upon. Like there are the three measures of decisions environments. First one is your certainty, that certainty that which a person known about, okay, that particularly this event going to be happen soon, so this particular event or this particular thing I know about it. Okay, so whatever the things which I am already aware about are the certainties, or you can say the environment in which relevant parameters have known their values, so that particular things are come under the certainty phase. Okay, then there's this risk phase, which is known as that environment on which future events have problem or the probable outcomes. Okay, so these kind of things can be happen, and we are taking a risk by investing the funds or by investing the funds in the shares. So these kind of things, whatever we take a decision or the manager take a decision, will be depend upon the risk. Okay, and the third one is uncertainty. Okay, now this is the very complex situation where we don't know about any kind of future activity, we don't know about the future outcomes, and there are the impossible to possess that what type of things will be going to happen in future even. Okay, so that time we use uncertainties. So basically, risk versus uncertainty is the major concept in your syllabus. Even you should know about it, that what is the difference between risk and uncertainty. Because obviously, if we are taking the risk, then also we don't know about the future aspects. And if we are taking about uncertainties, then also we don't know about any kind of future things. Okay, so risk are the things, or risk is a word which we used for not known with certainty. Okay, that means the particular decision which is being taken by the manager have the two outcomes. Okay, so it might be possible that या तो ये होगा कि the alternative will give you the benefits, or otherwise it will going to give you the losses. Okay, so these particular thing can list out the can list out the possible outcomes, and even we can assign the probabilities for that particular outcomes. Okay, it might be rain today, so there are two things that it can be happen or it cannot be happen. But in the risk over here is that it might be heavy rain today, so it can be possible that it is going to under the risk chances. Then there are uncertainties for which we cannot list out the possible outcomes of it, and even we cannot assign the probabilities for that particular things. Okay, so these kind of things comes under the certainty and the uncertainty. Okay, so I have taken an example over here that investment in bank FD is a certainty that they will be going to give you the returns in future. Okay, but if you're investing in the share and you're thinking that it will be give you the risk, obviously it will going to add up the match risk in the future. So obviously you know about it, because the speculations, or you can say the market can be tremendously changed. So according to that only the things can also change, or the investment results can also change. But to take a decision that investments are making under the shares, and to ask upon or to take a decision that might be in the future they will going to give you the returns more than your bank FD, so it is uncertain that might be it can give you the high returns from the FD, but might be possible they cannot. Okay, so there are five items on which, or the five criteria on which our decision on under uncertainty depends upon. For example, the four major one criteria is optimism, pessimism, equal probability. Then we have to calculate the coefficient of optimism, which we also know as Hervey's law, and the regret. Okay, So these kind of five criteria are here, which our decision criteria depend upon. Okay, so let's start with the first one, that is optimism. Okay, so in this optimism criteria, we going to get the alternative, or we have to choose the alternative with the best possible payoff. Okay, so before that, what does mean about the best payoff possibles? Basically, if you are talking about time, or if you are talking about the cost, obviously a manager will going to take a decision which will going to complete the particular task in a minimum time and in a minimum cost. So if you are getting the if you will be going to ask a question related to cost or time, that time you need to choose that particular time or cost should be minimized at that situation. That will be going to give you the major benefits in this situation, in this optimism case. But in case of profits or income or revenue, then obviously a manager will going to ask for that he should get more returns, more income, and more profits in the market. So obviously, or more sales in the market. So obviously, he will be going to choose upon that the best alternative will be the higher one. Okay. So the on this basis, we have the best possible payoff is there, which is again having the two alternatives or two criteria. The first one is your maximax and the second one is minimin. That means you need to find out all the maximum criteria and on which you will be going to opt the maximum one. And in the minimum, you will be going to find out the minimum cost or minimum time period, and on that also you need to going to opt the minimum value. Okay, the value which you will be going to derive. Okay, so fine, we have the example over that the maximax is 7,000, hence the company should be adopt a strategy one, because okay fine, there is a concept which we use in decision making under uncertainty, that there should be row maximum and the column minimum. Okay, so whenever you're going to take whenever you're going to solve this particular problems of decision making, the time according to the row concept, that you will be going to opt the maximum value. Okay, from the all the rows, but in the time of the columns you will be going to take the minimum value. Okay, from the all the columns. So we have the three strategies over here, and where state of natures are given, three state of natures are here, and by which we have calculated the row maximum, and which the from the row 1 I got the 7,000 as the minimum maximum one, and the second I got the 5,000, and for the third I got the 3,000. So obviously the result for the maximax situation over here will be 7,000, because the decision, or because the result over here shows that the maximum value or the maximum payoff will be going to get the best possible outcome. Okay, so then the next one is pessimism. Pessimism is the alternative where you need to choose the alternative with the best of the worst possible payoff. Okay, so now you will be going to get the worst situations, and from that worst situation you need to find out the best one. Okay, for this particular thing we calculate the pessimist criteria, which depends upon the maximum and the minimax criteria. If it will be the maximum problem, then you will be going to do, that you will be going to find out the best one, means the maximum the minimum situations, whatever the minimum situations or whatever the minimum results you will be getting from that particular strategies or that particular outcomes or results, you will be going to get the best maximum one. Okay, and similarly in the minimax criteria, the maximum values which you are getting, from that you will be going to choose the minimum value, so that it will going to give you the benefits accordingly. Okay, then the third criterion on which our decision depend upon is the Laplace criterion, which gives you the equal probability, or you can say the equal chances or equally likely events can happen over here. So all the nature, all the state of natures are having the equal probability to get the results from the market. Okay, so decision makers can compute the average payoff from each row or each column, or by dividing some of the possible consequences and divided each by the number of state of nature. by which you will be going to get the values and then select the best alternative accordingly. As I say before that, so you need to choose the highest row average and in the minimum one from the column. Okay. Then Laplace criterion. Again, I've taken the example over here that we have the strategy S1, S2, S3, and we have the nature state of nature also. That we have three state of natures that will be going to give calculate the values of row maximum. In this particular case, you have the N1, N2, N3 as an options. Okay, so what I have suggested you that what you need to do, you need to add up all the row values and we will be going to divide it by the state of nature, number of state of nature. So for example, over here we have the three state of nature. So you will be going to divide the sum of all the row values and you will be further divided by 3, which will be giving you the row maximum value, and in above all you need to choose upon the best one, means you need to choose the maximum one. Okay, then there's another concept which is known as harvest concept, which is depend upon the coefficient of optimism, which is certainly you can say that the compromise between the optimistic and the pessimistic approach of decision theory or decision making under uncertainty. For each alternative, you need to find out the largest and the smallest value or the largest or smallest payoff value and multiply it by the alpha. The alpha over here uh, depend upon the optimism value. Okay, so it will be always given to you that what type of optimism value is for related to that particular situation. So it will be going to give you, or you will be going to get it. So now that largest and the lowest payoff value, you will be going to multiply it by the alpha or 1 minus alpha. Okay, so then the formula over here for the Herzberg or coefficient of optimism will be alpha multiplied the maximum in the column and plus 1 minus alpha multiplied by the minimum in the column. Okay, so this will give you the best answer in your for your situation or for your strategy. Then Houseways, like according to the situation, we again the strategy one has the harvest payoff table for the 4800, which we have calculated that 0.6 is like it is given over here. That assuming degree of optimism is alpha equals to 0.6, and if we are going to calculate 1 minus alpha, that means 1 minus 0.6 will give you 0.4. So over here, the coefficient of optimism will be what you will be going to choose that for 7,000 they are the maximum payoff which we already calculated enough for the like our previous slides. So accordingly we're going to calculate it by putting the values and we will going to get the values of our concept, and accordingly we will going to adopt the strategy or formulate the strategy. Then the last value or the last criterion is depend upon the regret or salvage rule, which this rule represent the pessimistic approach. So this opportunity loss reflects, that means we will be going to calculate the expected loss in it. Okay, so or which we can also say that expected opportunity loss in this, which will be going to reflect the difference between the each payoff and with the best from the best possible payoff in a column, and by not choosing the best alternative we will be going to get the result for expected opportunity loss, for which we call it as EOL also. So for each course of action you need to identify the maximum regret value, and which will be there will be no record in the row column, but you need to go for the maximum regret value here, and you need to find out the course of action with the smallest anticipated opportunity loss value, because obviously a manager wants to make higher profit but a little less loss. Fine, so over here we have the strategies, we have calculated the values, and by that we got the opportunity loss over here, and we adopt the strategy according to it. Last but not the least, concept of decision making theory, that is depend upon the decision table. Now this decision table or decision tree shows you the diagrammatic presentation of your decisions which you have taken. Okay, so these kind of decisions which you have made under the any kind of situation or under any kind of future expectations. For this particular, you will going to find out the decision tree. So for that particular things, you have to find out the strategies, formulate this strategy, and accordingly you will be going to get the outcomes over it. Okay. So decision tree is basically a network problem, or the network or diagrammatic problem, which you can say, the relationship you can explain according to the graphical presentation, because they are the complex decision process in the market. It is a graphical model for each combination of ways of your X, ways of your strategy, whereas of you have the different kind of state of nature, and which will give you the payoff probability distributions will be there. Right. So basically, the extremely used strategy in the decision field is the decision tree only, because it is very simple and easy to compute the payoff table, and accordingly you will get the benefits early as possible. Okay. So decision tree analysis involves the construction of a diagram which shows the different type of state of nature, different type of strategy, and from that you will be going to find out the best possible outcome and the corresponding payoff. So basically, what does decision tree includes? That first one is your nodes, then your branches will be there, the probability estimation, and the last one is your payoff. Nodes will be represented as a square or in a like circle form, by which your other strategies will give you the results. Okay, so it represents the point of action from where the decision maker will going to choose the one alternative from the other, or the other decision tree alternatives, which will be going to take out the branches from the nodes only, which will be formulated by the strategies you will be going to opt upon. And by multiplying them with the probabilities estimation, you will be going to get the payoff returns. Like this, I have taken an example that if I will go out with the umbrella or without umbrella, or might be there are chances that there can be rain or that there cannot be rain. So again, in every situation, I have to take out the results too. So fine, if I'm going with the umbrella and if there will be rain outside, then it will be I will be going to stay comfortable and dry. But if it will be rain and I have taken the umbrella with me, obviously I need to bear unnecessary trouble of carrying that umbrella, right? So fine. Next one is that if I go without umbrella, then if it rain, then again I'll get wet and uncomfortable. But if I could not take, if I'm taking the umbrella but there's no rain, then obviously I will be remain dry and comfortable again. So basically, the elements of decision theory depends upon the three basic concepts. Again, I'm telling you about this. That first one is state of nature, then the alternatives, and the payoff. Okay, so which I have already discussed about, but this is again very important. You need to learn about it. So these kind of formula, I have taken the example over here, that payoff table, which depict the decision theory. For example, there's a profit payoff table, or we have the alternative small, medium, large, and state of nature is given over here, that low or high, and the profits you need to make in lakhs. Obviously, now it is a profit situation, so obviously it should be the maximum one. Okay, so if it will be the one node is here, and from that particular three streams I'm coming out with the low enterprises, or sorry, small units, or medium enterprise, or large setting. If it will be small, then low and high, I have given the 8 and 8 as in their state of nature results. Then is medium one, for medium one I have given 5 and 15, and for the large it's minus 11 and 22. So accordingly, I will be going to multiply it by the probabilities and going to calculate the values. Okay. So decision making under risk are assumed by the probabilities, and they are mutually exclusive, and their sum should be equals to 1 only, and the formula for that is summation px. That means you will be going to get the values of probability, and you need to find out the total number of possible outcomes you have. So by this, you will be going to construct an EMV table, and you will be going to get the value according to it. And particularly, EMV will going to give you the results, that maximum value or maximum variable you will be find out from the market situation. And the opportunity loss, which I have discussed before, that opportunity loss will be the difference between the highest profit or the payoff from the actual profit to choosing the particular course of action in a particular state of nature. So basically, EOL will give you the difference between the payoff value and the most favorable outcomes. Then EVPI, for the EVPI, you need to find out the difference between the expected payoff under certainty and the expected payoff under risk, by which you will be going to find out the value of expected value of profit information. Okay, so it is defined as the maximum amount one should or one would going to pay or to obtain the particular perfect information about the state of nature that would be going to occur in the future. So that for that we will going to calculate about the EVPI. So that's it for our today's particular video. We will be going to learn about that how these decisions going to affect the market, or we're going to take the different kind of scenarios from the market in the next or from the other videos. But till that, stay safe. Thank you.